How's it going? Let's see what I got here. Wasn't even planning on playing right now. The algorithm decided to go live, I guess. I thought I was just setting up the... What's going on there? Something just went out of tune. Yeah, I think my A string is sharp. Well, I guess we might as well talk about a thing that I've thought for many years and share with students all the time. Play more acoustic guitar. Well, I guess we're going to take the time to talk about that. Let me ditch this sweater, though. I'm getting kind of hot. Hope everybody's doing well. This is kind of the first day around here at the house where the wife isn't working, the kids aren't at school, everybody's sleeping in, everybody's taking it easy. I've had one too many coffees, and I figured I'd come down here and play a little acoustic guitar. As I view my connection with this instrument as being somewhat of a secret weapon amongst my peers, of which I have many, and I view them more as travel mates or travel companions on a journey of musical progress, all right? But one of the things that happens around this time of year is that my old bluegrass friends, we get together and play. And the good news is I still have retained most of what I cared about as a bluegrass musician for the 5 years that I dabbled in that. And a lot of the jazzers that used to hang out with that crew and would, occasionally join us, we got together for some Christmas parties over the season here. And we played a little bit, and this broke out the old guitar. Oh yeah. So that, what is that? Oh, baby, it ain't no lie. Baby, it ain't no lie. Right. So you get that, or Freight Train's the other one he liked. Elizabeth Cotton was something else, man. Freight train, it goes so fast. Freight train, it goes so fast. Please don't tell them what train I'm on. That way they don't know where I've gone. When I die and I'm in my bed, no more pleasure on earth to dread. The stones at my head and feet, that way they'll think I've gone to sleep. What is that? I don't know. been a little while since I played some of those songs like on the habitual, so you know I'm still kind of rusty, but. Anyway, folks, play more acoustic guitar. It will put hair on your chest and toughen up your hands. Mine are just fresh out of the shower. You'll note the shorn lamb effect. I am ready for Christmas, and I'm ready for photographs. I'm ready to be memorialized. So let's talk about how acoustic guitar playing can really improve your electric guitar playing, because I get the feeling that most folks on the channel aren't really geared towards, you know, playing the acoustic guitar, you know, as their main gig. But what this will do is, you know, it'll bring into clear focus how physical our instrument is, right? Without creating momentum and energy and drive out of the right hand, everything can sound a little gutless, all right? So the last thing I want anybody that I work with or play with or hang out with to be is neutered. I hate tentative people. I don't hate them, but I dislike being around people that aren't outward and confident and capable. And I have nothing against shy people or bashful people, but if you're going to step up and play music with people, you have to contribute. You can't. I mean, obviously, beginners. I'm very kind and generous to people who are kind of new to the fold, right? But if you're going to step up, then you got to step in and you got to play, right? So the thing about the acoustic guitar is, if you're playing and people are going while you're playing, you're doomed. You're never going to get over a big box like this, okay? With going, you have to learn how to be more like, and really dig into the guitar, right? And take advantage of the open strings. Those kind of like, really make that kind of big, loud, open thing. Now, granted, the accompanists that you're playing with, they shouldn't be going fucking crazy, but they get a couple of whiskeys in them, and the next thing you know, boom. All right, you finally catch acoustic and live. Hey, Eric, nice to see you, bud. So one of the things I want to caution you against is if you're playing with people and you're in like a campfire situation or a picnic circle, right? And these are some of the best times actually for me as a musician. You got to be able to trust each other. And if somebody's stepping on your dick a little bit while you're soloing, you gotta learn how to communicate. Like there's got to be like a safe word. There's got to be pineapple. You're too loud. You know, like something like that, right? So, like if I was playing. Let's say we were just playing like, what's a good tune? I like this. What is it? If we do out on out on the lonely mountain in a cabin low and small, live the sweetest rose of color, my Rosalie McFall. Her hair was bright in color, and her voice was pure to me. You know that I will always love her, and I hope that she loved me. That whole, when you're playing like that, right, you're really going to have to rely on the the taste of your companions, right? And if they don't know the tune and they are maybe a little drunk, it can get nasty. So what you want to do is establish some ground rules. Like, hey, if you can't hear the singer and you can't hear the soloist over top of your own instrument at like a reasonable ratio, then you are playing too loud, my friend. You are the problem. Like, it's that old adage about, like, if you can't figure out who the sucker is at the poker table, it's you, my friend. Well, that's what's happening with acoustic music most of the time. Most people think, I'm here myself, I'm doing great, woo! And everybody else is sitting there saying, I wish that guy would settle down. Like, let's say I was playing Rosalie McFall, right? And all of a sudden, I find myself comping behind somebody. I'm not going to be going... Not if they're playing guitar. There's no way to do that to somebody and be a kind traveler. You can't do that. You have to be going... Maybe give them a little bit... You want to be very, very soft, okay? Because somebody else is going to have to... You know, that kind of... You're going to have to be sensitive to the fact that somebody else is... Sorry, my guitar's not really tuning up so nicely here. You're gonna have to be sensitive to that, okay? So make sure you're not the fucking problem. That seems a little sharp. And you'll notice one other thing. Here's a good tip. If you're hanging out in like a 3-guitar jam or a 4-guitar jam, as it often is the case, because sadly not enough people play mandolin or upright bass, or there aren't upright basses wherever you go, or something like that. You'll notice. Okay, let's even stay within Rosalie McFall, all right? Because a lot of deadheads here. All right. If we're playing this song here out of C shapes, I hold on. Lonely hillside, right? That right? That's not going to be how everybody else is playing it. They're not going to all be playing it on capo 4. You've got a distinct advantage being up there. Go up there when you see everybody else going. Because this is very slow and sluggish and low. All right. Granted, it sounds nice to be the guy going. Okay, lovely song, by the way. I don't play it often enough, but this always was one of my favorite tunes. So, capo up if everybody else is down. Go where they aren't. You know, inhabit that little mandolin space. It sounds fucking killer when you do that. When you end up doing different voicings utilizing a capo, you end up inhabiting like an energy space that isn't occupied. Let's talk a little bit about what I really think is important about the acoustic guitar. It's a rhythm instrument, all right? We can play solos on it. Yes, you can. Hold on a second. There we go. You can play rhythm on an acoustic guitar in a way that you cannot get out of an electric guitar, but it loosens up your right hand in a way that's really healthy. I'd say anywhere between 25 to 40% of the students that I work with, they play with what I call a pinned bridge hand. All right. And there's so much, talk about muting on the electric guitar, and rightfully so, that students will occasionally think that all the energy is taking place from here out towards their fingertips, and they think that they're picking from here. But listen to how little you get out of. If we're picking from here, if I cut off it's like stepping on a garden hose. There's just no flow. If I'm doing this, as opposed to, even at my best, there's no way to make these muscles do anything meaningful compared to a big. So what you want to do is start loosening up this and treating it more like a whip, okay? Whip, okay, whoosh, okay? We want to think about the impulse coming from back here, the blood flowing down through our arm, and this not being crimped. We don't want to think about this being pinched. We want the energy to flow and magnify like a rat tail going swack, right? We want it to be almost like you're shaking the water off your hand if you didn't have a towel, right? You go like that, right? Or ow, that hurt, or shaka bra, or something, anything like that. You want that loose wrist, right? So what I tell people is, hey, get your little boom chicka boom chicka happening. Can we see my pick angle? Well, okay, so acoustic guitar, pick angle becomes a huge thing, okay? You mean how I'm holding the pick? I'm holding the pick usually in across the top like that, like a little triangle. This one is organic material and it's been filed down a little bit there. Do I use different picks for acoustic? Yes, I do. I was about to say, these are my electric picks. These I tend to use these Dunlop 1.5 millimeter textured max grip Delrin kind of picks. I find them to not give way. This, if you listen to the tone, a lot different than this. This has that glassy. So let's go back to. No, we can even come back here. Hold on, let's ditch this. So if we're playing the brightness and inflexibility of the organic material here is like a bone or tortoiseshell or something like that. Has this really glassy and pleasant little that the plastic just doesn't have. There's like a dull thuddiness to it then. So if we're doing something where we're hearing, by the way, where we pick, huge impact, right? If I'm picking this versus, okay, so if I'm strumming a lot and I'm trying to keep the bass tight, I bring it back. if I want to warm it up, if I'm like... Just has a much different sound here versus here. Massive amount of change. Okay, so kind of like cooking, Jacksnax, right? If there is any thing that we can say about cooking, is the fewer ingredients you have in a recipe, the more important the quality of those ingredients becomes. All right, so there's like an inverse ratio between number of ingredients and importance of quality. So something like a caprese salad, which has just 3, we need tomatoes, basil or basil, if you're from the other side of the pond, and mozzarella. We need a good buffalo mozzarella if we're interested in, right? And some fine olive oil, perhaps a little vinegar, chili flakes, salt, something like that, right? Very, very like lightly adorned concept. We have to make sure that all those things are super high quality. Same thing's happening here. Don't forget I didn't forget the balsamic, baby. All right. So Jeremy K is on the page with me. So the idea is, hey, look at this. This is guitar, right? It only has a few key ingredients. All right. What are those ingredients? This material, big influence. Okay. This is, I believe, this guitar was made in 1937. So I believe that back then they were still using parts of elephants for these components, okay? So that's a different sound than bone. It is. This is old mahogany, but my guess is that this mahogany, if this was made in 1937, may have been harvested at the end of the 1800s. It could be 20 years old or 30 years old. All right, and it consequently just sounds like a big hollow wooden log. This guitar weighs, I think, under 4 pounds. It doesn't even have a truss rod. It's a very primitive instrument in a lot of ways, okay? The top is crazy thin, Adirondack spruce, and just rings like a fucking bell. Like the low end is somewhere between this tightness back here and this hollow log thing that you get here when it has a big woof that comes out. Especially if you're smart, you'll notice that when I play the guitar, I always maintain what I think of as this triangle, okay? And I want you to understand that if you're playing an acoustic guitar and you've got a big Joe, okay, a big pot belly, you're probably deadening half the instrument, all right? So get it out in front of you if you can, because you don't want to take half of this thing is effectively a drum. So if we're gonna put our belly up against it, watch what happens to the bass. Okay, all right, and equally, we want to make sure that our forearm is not on the top, unless you want to create a deliberately, like a tenor banjo effect of a... versus... Big difference, okay? So keep your arm off the top, especially the forearm coming across here, right? And keep your Joe off the back here. You don't want that, okay? So many ingredients are going into this. The pick is one of them for sure. The strings, another massive thing. I personally like what an old friend of mine used to refer to as uptown strings. I kind of like the everlasting quality and kind of new clarity after they break in for a minute or two. I really do like those coated elixir strings, those ones made with what they call the nano coating, and it's called a nano web, and it comes in a purple box, kind of looks like this. That nano web coating, these are 13s. They sound great for years. Like I just changed my strings maybe a week ago. And they'll sound like that for the next year and a half. That's what's really good about them. All right, so you want to talk about pick angle. Let's think about that. With so many upstrokes in acoustic guitar and bluegrass, my ideas behind, forcibly like kind of applying downward pick angles and upward pick angles is largely brought to a more centrist position, I've got to say, especially if cross-picking is involved, okay? So if I'm doing like this kind of thing, right? If you look at my right hand, it's not profoundly angled like it is when I do some of the double down techniques that I utilize on the electric instrument. I'm definitely more akin to this. So in a way, it's neutral, or even more like Brian Sutton, where it's kind of up for getting those upstrokes. So if I'm playing that Beaumont rag part, the cross-picking part, you can see how I'm having to double back for that upstroke. So for the upstrokes, I'm definitely going to roll. Okay, there's definitely some of that going on for sure. All right, right hand, I'll do a couple of those. If I want to, I can do those in alternates. So maybe a pull off and a rake. Okay, but definitely like brushing up like that, I'm almost flat. All right, so what I was trying to get to is about this idea of the flow. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. The flow of energy through the arm down to the hair, okay? Kinda, yeah. The Gold Rush was almost on point. I gotta work on that. That part is... that's the hard part. Yeah, something like that, right? So what I'm getting at is the flow of information, how this can transfer to your electric playing, okay? I always talk to people about making sure that the hand is moving and that we're keeping the body kind of engaged in the rhythm of our song. And I'll use all kinds of frilly metaphors to kind of plant that seed in the mind of students about like keeping the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, the 16th note grid, the kind of graph paper of down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down beats, get down strokes. This whole attachment to that, somewhat slavishly, stems from the bluegrass tradition of fiddle tunes, which just has a very definitive up and down stroke, okay, to the bow, transferring over to guitar. Okay, so consequently, the idea of, hey, happy Christmas. So we want to have that boom, chicka, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So if you can get that over your C chord, so boom. So 1, 2, 3. Here. main exercises that I think kind of help with this are just taking the C chord and coming like this. Getting that together, nice and loose. I call this the big dog, okay? So we're taking all 5, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Harder than it looks, folks, I promise you. Getting constant, just consecutive alternate string changes like that. Now try adding the pivoting bass. That's all right. Okay, now the idea is you should be able to access that at random. So if you're doing riding on that new river train, riding on that new river train, same old train that Tommy has gonna carry me away again. That kind of stuff. Happy holidays, Jack. I have my acoustic out today. Good for you, David. Wondering impatience, I just picked up a copy of and then the comment disappears and I can't read it anymore. So the idea of getting this big dog together, David, it's so nice to see you, and good morning and happy holidays to you, my friend. So if we can get that going on, so now instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna go hit that high E. That's a really good exercise. The other one is learning how to play Wildwood Flower. If you don't know how to play Wildwood Flower, please, please, please learn how to do it. It will be one of the best things you can do for your right hand, okay? It utilizes a cross-picking arrangement that relies heavily on this mechanic right here. We're taking the bar and we're breaking it up into 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. All right, so if we go... So that's down, up, down, up, looped. So... Beautiful tune, okay? Carter tune, right? So what do we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So da 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 da. That's how it starts. I would start it on this open C with the, so that's the G, the C, and the E note of the C chord. We're just fretting one note here at the first fret, B string. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Sorry, 1, 2. And you'll note that I'm not just picking from here. The whole arm. This is moving. It's sending information this way. I'm lightly brushing the top. I'm not pinned. Okay, and I'm brushing, my hand is still touching the guitar, but I'm not connecting the top or the bottom of my forearm with the top of the guitar, okay? I practiced this probably for, I don't know, maybe a week or two to get it up to speed. Now we bring the same thing down. We're still out of a C chord. G chord. So that's just open, and then middle finger comes in and plays the sixth of that G chord. So the rhythm would be ba-da-bum, 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 bum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum. And neglected this pale velvet flower. Right, so back here brighter. Right. Now this is what they call a backward roll. We were learning forward rolls, right? This is a backward roll would be. You gotta kind of, so that's. That's over a G chord. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I mean, that kind of do with the picking. Ooh, that's like, it's good stuff. Okay, it takes a long time, but it sounds so nice. That Norman Blake kind of rolling. Figure out what you got to do to get that nice loose boom, chicka boom, chicka boom. And I promise you that looseness and that flow and that understanding of where you are within the bar and the mechanics of creating that much rhythm shall transfer quite nicely into being a better rhythm guitar player on the electric guitar. And the picking discipline that you'll acquire from learning how to do some of these more complex cross-picking passages, like that one in Beaumont Rag. That stuff is, all right, I fucked it up too. Anyway, this is a hell of a creature. If you learn how to master this, oh my God, it makes the electric guitar kind of seem like a toy, to be honest, because the ropes are so much bigger, there's so much more tension, you don't have anything to rely on other than the mechanics of your right hand. Shave and a haircut, yes, it's true. I went out to a family event last night and I didn't want to look like a schlub, so I got a haircut right before Thanksgiving. I had no idea my hair was growing quite so quickly, but no longer, I'm what they call the shorn lamb at this point. Let me teach you a couple of fun ideas about how to get some speed out of your acoustic guitar playing. Right? You want to use open strings as often as you can. Okay, so out of the key of C. Oh, I did actually I shaved and got a haircut yesterday. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's a shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I guess I could have done something else there, but That stuff is so hard. There's, gosh, who is that? That's Clarence White's break at the end of that Black Mountain Rag, I think. Yeah. So check it out. So there's this little lick. When you're playing those C chord licks and you want to have something to do here, you can do this. And this is a great way to kind of understand how the flat third works in over a major chord. We're going root 6, 3. Then we're going 6, 5, 3, flat 3, 3, root. Right, some. So you hear that flat third coming up, and then flat, flat 3, 2, root, 6, 5, root. If you don't think that transfers straight into Grateful Dead speak, you're out of your fucking tree. We're doing that on every major chord when we play Garcia style stuff. That's where this stuff comes from for him. There's a reason why I do the Grateful Dead stuff in a semi-convincing, but not totally beholden to the actual licks that Garcia plays. It's an understanding of how to do that over top of the C chord. I'm not even that good at this shit. I mean, okay, that's over the C chord, and basically all I have to learn how to do is do that in all the cowboy chords. D. All right. G. Same idea. So over the G chord, we can do the same lick. So learn one of those tunes like what is it? Red-haired boy, that was always a good one for getting those. All right, you're gonna want to learn those. I'm pulling off to those open strings. You need that stuff to, if you can do that, your left hand gets strong, your right hand gets strong, you start to feel the pulses. All of a sudden, I had a home run. So it's in the, who's Jack Tuttle book? I'll definitely check out that. Yeah, I think I've got a little breakdown on how to do like a wildwood flower thing as well. I think I did it like 3 or 4 years ago. It's me like on a Sunday morning while everybody's asleep. So you're basically taking the melody. And then you're adding in the extra notes. That's a lovely tune, that Jackaroo. That sounds crazy fast, though. The musician at the real estate company? I'm sorry, I don't know either, to be honest. Man, the guitar really sounds good when you give it just a little extra push. Yeah, it's true. This guitar is a monster. It sounds lovely when it's being brushed like gently. It has like this hollow log reverb kind of built into it. That said, when it's dug into, it's kind of like a JBL. It sounds super bright when it's quiet, and then when you really lean into it, the whole thing starts to come alive. The warmth comes up. Have I heard the album Bluegrass and the Abstract Truth? I have not, but now I've heard of it. Grant Gordy is here in Brooklyn. Like, he's friends with my picking circle. I don't know why. I think, to be honest, I think I'm intimidated to go and meet the guy. That's like a real man. That's a real man. Like, I don't know whether or not I can hang. All right. Let's see. There were some questiones here. Let's put this down for a second. So are folks digging the acoustic idea? I didn't know whether or not it was going to work. To be honest, I was like, what's going on? Should I do this or should I not do this? And I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think of it as an essential component to the electric guitar playing that I do. Absolutely digging that. Well, I think that might be the end of this. I believe there's trouble a-brewing upstairs. Let's just see real fast, though, what's going on and see if I can answer any questions super fast here. Man, no rest for the weary. Okay, so right here, somebody just said, have I heard the album? Anything different with my picking here besides the least tension as possible? Am I a Keller Williams fan? Yeah, they're pretty cool, you know. I mean, I like Doc Watson. I'm old. I'm an old fart. I like those guys more. Anything different with my picking here? The only things I'm doing different is I'm hitting the guitar a little harder because I'm aware of the fact that I'm carrying the load of the full output of the instrument. I'm not able to rely on an amp being the provider, right? So you need to practice playing at various dynamic levels here. I'm so sick of this orange color. This is so harsh. I kind of liked where I had this. I kind of like that. This kind of like mellow, psychedelic, shifting purple thing. So the way I would suggest that you start picking and working on the picking stuff is that I'm in a more neutral position generally, and I'm less concerned about overtones on an acoustic instrument than I am on the electric, because it can't get that loud unless I'm playing the harmonics that are generated typically from open strings relate to the chords that most of these songs are in, so usually it sounds nice. If I'm playing up here and I'm playing over an E chord, and I come up here and go, and the guitar's making all that behind it, that sounds nice. As opposed to going, where I'm keeping on a tight leash when I play the electric guitar. All right, and I'm relying on the reverb that's built into the patch, and I'm kind of controlling how much I feed that vis-a-vis the right hand muting and right hand picking dynamics and the pickup selection and how much gain the amp has and all that stuff. None of that shit matters here. So it's like only about what you can coax out of the guitar. That's why modifying your technique to allow for your belly not to be muting the backup, like literally this is like 50% of the sound of the guitar comes out of its ass. All right, so it's going everywhere, especially the lows. They're omnidirectional, so you don't want to mute that unless you want to quiet it down, unless you feel like, oh, I'm kind of sounding tubby here. And consequently, playing standing up on an acoustic guitar, it really sounds difficult. It sounds bad. Is the down-up subconscious then? At this point, yes, because what we're trying to do is what I want you to envision, it's Jimmy, right? Is that Jimmy who just asked that? Yeah. What I want you to envision is all 6 strings here are in fact one big string. And we're going 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E across it. Like we're going. Okay, so 1E and a 2E and a 3E. So if we're going. We got to get that. Okay, where this is just going, you don't think about walking. You want it to become part of the limbic system, the lizard brain that's deep inside, So you want it to just feel like this. So that's 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a... So practice it slowly. Even if you were just going for a little bit, that's a really good start. Or even just etudes, like literally break it down so that you're only practicing the right hand mechanics that you need to develop. Don't worry about the left hand. The left hand is a separate battle. You don't want to fight 2 wars at once. You just want to worry about getting the drummer built into here so you can get rid of them. Like a great drummer is like a boob job or a good hair transplant. You don't notice it. You don't notice when you have a great drummer because he's just so stealth and fucking on point. Your right hand is supposed to be like the plumbing in your house. It's like the thankless but totally required thing. Otherwise, when your toilet breaks, you notice very quickly. All right, so get the right hand together. So, those cross-picking etudes, that's a really great way to toughen up the right hand. And at the same time, maybe you can learn one of those cool tunes like Beaumont Rag, that little part. So that's over a G chord. then you put down your middle finger and then switch your there and go. And then you can try to fill it in a little bit. Just a couple extra notes instead of going. You can go. Okay. The wiping hand must hold down the plumbing. Well, you just want this thing to not be. It is a huge contributor, but it kind of gets no credit. It's like if it's done right, you don't notice that it's being done right until you try to break it down and realize, oh shit, so much effort goes into this guy. All right. Also, that people can stare at the pretty fireworks over here. Okay. There's no glamour here, but this is where all of the glory comes from, is the right hand. So if you can get this kind of thing happening for yourself, I basically did. Okay, so you could start out playing open without just open chords. Exactly. So that's what that exercise was. The big dog is just Okay, so start out by going 1, 2, and you see how I'm moving my hand? I'm keeping the blood moving. I'm keeping it. All right, there's a little pump from the forearm up here up at the top here, and you'll see that, and then you'll see this kind of bounce. Okay, you want that. So even if we're doing just the one note, that's in there. And basically, you're still seeing a down and a little bounce. Okay, now we're gonna go. We can do 2 downstrokes like that because there's still gonna be time. Okay, so then, okay, if you want to get those downstrokes, that's fine. And then you could go switch to alternate picking. That's a good thing to have. Then now we're in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But everything else at that point was in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. All right, that's a good starting point. You'll notice that the downstroke is always on the down, down, down on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting that together, I'm basically just holding on one chord. I'm starting to get a little bit more elaborate. I'm pivoting the one note, giving a little pump there, and going, just alternating between the bottom note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's bring in the high E. Up, down, 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 up. All right, and that's just all holding down one chord. If you want to then learn how to do that over an E chord, you know, that's kind of nice. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're taking the first 4 strings and the second 4 strings and the last 4 strings and the middle 4 strings and the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going like that until your right hand gets so together. It's so cool how much this bouncy bluegrass stuff applies to something like the riff on it. Well, Althea has some of that coupled with the Travis picking stuff. So when we get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's okay. That's C, E, G, E. So that's hitting the 1, 3, 5, 3. That's what the right hand's doing. I mean, what the pick is doing. And then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. picking, yes, Merle Travis is the inventor of this technique. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you can get that kind of thing happening with a little story from the middle finger. He only used his thumb and his index finger to do this. Chet Atkins later came along and started doing much more this kind of more like story, telling much more of a story with the upper melody notes and more pivoting back and forth between different things. So the Travis picking is more Althea. So yeah, absolutely. So that's where you're going to get this. Now, if you take out that bounce or just put it in selective spots, you'll get that. So if you have never listened to Doc Watson do this kind of stuff, he's the best. I just love him. So you're getting that kind of bounce. Need that. It's just this is happy as opposed to. So there's some weirdness move Althea from AT. Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of is it's a rock song, but it relies on some of this bluegrass kind of Travis picking right hand technique. Okay, don't forget Garcia played banjo, so finger picking and tucking the pick. He does that all with I think these two fingers. I think he's only using these two. Uses his stub of a middle finger to hold the pick, and then is picking like that. So that's how he's doing that. He also does that in Crazy Fingers and a couple of other tunes. He's no stranger to just using this little thing. I've tried to learn how to do it without putting the pick down and doing this, which sounds different. A little punchier with the pick than with the thumb, but you can't slap. You can't get and that little move, the kind of Knopfler-esque thing. That can't happen with the pick. I mean, it doesn't sound quite the same as with the thumb where you can get all that meat behind it and go and kind of give it a little bit of that output like that. All right, I better go upstairs and see what's going on. Apparently one of my children is misbehaving and somebody's got to kick some ass around here. So it's time for me to earn my keep. All right. I don't know. I'll keep sneaking down here whenever I possibly can because it's fun to talk about guitar even when I'm not supposed to. But anyway, I'm being a naughty boy. But thanks for everybody for joining me this morning or this afternoon. I don't know what time it is. And hopefully you guys have a great Christmas if I don't see you before then. But if I do, hey, I'll see you then. Okay? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.